grim darkness of the 41st millennium. The galaxy is a ceaseless war zone, and the Imperium of Man fights not for dominance, but for survival itself. Alien races lurk beyond every horizon, some ancient and cunning, others crude yet overwhelming in their savagery. To the Emperor's servants, every non-human species is measured not by its virtues, but by the threat it poses to mankind. Among these, some are well-known nightmares, others subtle shadows, but all are enemies in the end. The Aeldari, fallen lords of the stars. Once, they were masters of the galaxy, a proud and impossibly advanced people whose empire spanned star systems beyond counting. The Aeldari, with their lithe forms and ageless grace, were not only warriors and seers, but artists, philosophers, and master craftsmen of technologies mankind can scarcely comprehend. Every Aeldari was born with a natural gift for the psychic arts, and their civilization was bound together by the webway, a labyrinth of hidden paths through the immaterium that allowed them to travel without fear of the warp's horrors. Yet their brilliance became their undoing. Their society, bloated by excess and unrestrained pleasure, descended into decadence. The psychic corruption of their collective sins birthed she who thirsts, the chaos god Slaanesh, and with her coming, the heart of the Aeldari Empire was annihilated in an instant. Billions of souls were devoured, and their empire collapsed into scattered remnants. Now, only fragments of that golden age remain. The craft worlds, vast starborn sanctuaries drifting through the void. These craft-world Aeldari live by the path system, a disciplined way of life, designed to avoid temptations that once damned their kin. To the Imperium, they are tragic and aloof nobles, sometimes allies in the fight against chaos, but never truly trusted. They are a reminder of what mankind might one day become, or what it might yet fall to. The Drukhari, Lords of Pain. From the same poisoned roots that birthed the craft world, Aeldari, came their most corrupted cousins, the Drukhari. Dwelling in the nightmare realm of Komara, a hidden metropolis deep within the webway, these dark Eldar have abandoned all pretense of restraint. They thrive on cruelty, turning pain into both currency and sustenance. Their culture is one of eternal torment. Gladiatorial arenas echo with the screams of captives, while slave markets teem with human chattel torn from the stars. Every raid they launch is both a hunt for plunder and a harvest of agony, for the Drukhari's very survival depends on feeding their souls with the suffering of others, lest Slaanesh claim them as she did so many of their ancestors. To the Imperium, the Drukhari are nothing less than a plague of nightmares. They descend from the void without warning, slaughtering entire populations before vanishing back into the webway. There are no treaties, no bargains, no hope for peace, only the certainty that their next strike will come, and that it will be worse than the last. The Orks, the Green Tide. In stark contrast to the elegance and decadence of the Aeldari, the Orks are a brute force of nature. Green-skinned, muscle-bound, and as crude as they are numerous, Orks are a bizarre fusion of animal and fungus. They are born for war, literally. Violence is in their blood, and combat is their reason for existence. Orks organize themselves into clans, gathering into massive was under the leadership of the biggest, loudest, and most brutal warboss. Their technology is ramshackle and illogical by human standards, held together more by the Ork's own psychic belief in its function than by engineering skill. To the Imperium, Orks are an eternal problem. They are impossible to eradicate entirely. Spores left behind on a conquered world will eventually grow into more Orks, ensuring the war never ends. Entire sectors have been engulfed in Ork invasions, and every victory is temporary. For the Orks, war is not just a means to an end, it is the end itself. The Tyranids, devourers of worlds. From beyond the edge of the galaxy comes the most alien threat of all, the Tyranids. They are not a civilization, but a single vast organism, each creature a living weapon bred for a purpose. The Tyranid hive fleets travel between the stars in living bioships, descending upon worlds in vast numbers to strip them bare of all organic matter. Every Tyranid lifeform, from the smallest ripper swarm to the towering hive tyrant, is connected to the hive mind, a single, implacable intelligence that hungers endlessly. When a world is chosen for consumption, its skies darken with mycetic spores, its seas boil with alien beasts, and its cities are overrun in days. Nothing is spared. Even the oceans and atmosphere are consumed, leaving only a lifeless rock drifting in space. The Imperium dreads the Tyranids above almost all others. Once a hive fleet has set its sights on a planet, evacuation or exterminatus is often the only viable option. They cannot be reasoned with, bargained with, or intimidated. They exist only to feed. The Necrons, deathless kings of the past. Before the rise of the Aeldari, before mankind's first spark of civilization, the Necrons ruled the stars. Once a mortal species cursed with short, painful lives. They traded their flesh for immortal bodies of living metal in a bargain with ancient star gods. The cost was their souls, bound forever into cold machine forms. For 60 million years, they slept in their tomb worlds, awaiting the time to reclaim the galaxy. Now they awaken. Necron warriors emerge from stasis with weapons that slice through any armor, their ranks supported by terrifying constructs of alien science. They have no emotions, no mercy, and no desire for coexistence. Only the will to rebuild their ancient empire and destroy all who oppose them. The Imperium regards them as an unstoppable, methodical terror. Entire campaigns have been launched to purge Necron worlds, only to find the enemy vanish into the void, or worse, lying in wait to strike again with devastating precision. The Tau, the greater good. In the eastern fringe, a younger star-faring race rises, the Tau. Guided by a ruling caste of mysterious ethereals, their society is divided into 5 castes: earth for builders, air for pilots, water for diplomats and merchants, fire for warriors, and the ethereals who unite them all under the creed of the greater good. Unlike most races, the Tau seek to expand their empire not only by conquest, but by diplomacy, promising peace and prosperity to those who join their cause. Yet those who refuse are swiftly shown the firepower of their advanced technology. Sleek battlesuits, devastating railguns, and disciplined ranks of soldiers supported by alien auxiliaries like the carnivorous Kroot. To the Imperium, the Tau are dangerously persuasive. Frontier worlds have been known to defect willingly, seduced by their promises of equality and progress. This makes them, in some ways, more insidious than the Orks or Tyranids, for they conquer not just through war, but through ideals that can erode imperial loyalty from within. The Genestealer Cults, the enemy within. Perhaps the most insidious of all threats are the Genestealer Cults, hidden cancers growing within the very worlds of the Imperium. They begin with a single infection, a lone Genestealer infiltrating a population, implanting its genetic essence into a host. Over generations, hybrids are born, looking almost human but bound to the alien hive mind. These cults grow in secret, their members embedded in every stratum of society: miners, merchants, nobles, even guardsmen. They worship the coming of the Tyranids as a holy deliverance, working tirelessly to undermine imperial authority until the day of uprising. When that day comes, cities burn, armies falter, and a psychic beacon calls to the stars, summoning a hive fleet to claim its due. To the Imperium, There is no greater betrayal than a world turning on itself from within. Exterminatus is often the only solution once a cult's presence is confirmed, for allowing them to live is to invite planetary death. Every Xenos race is a different kind of doom. The Aeldari, tragic but untrustworthy. The Drukhari, sadists from the shadows. The Orks, an unstoppable tide. The Tyranids, extinction made flesh. The Necrons, deathless conquerors. The Tau, seductive with their creed. The Genestealer Cults, traitors within. The Imperium cannot fight them all at once, yet it must, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is no peace, no respite, no forgiveness. And so, the galaxy burns, and the Emperor's servants fight on. Tomorrow's enemy may be different from today's, but the war will never end. In the cold silence between the stars, more nightmares are always coming.